Luis Zendejas ready to kick off to John Robinson's USC Trojans. And back deep for Southern California will be Anthony Gibson and Joey Browner. Here's one of the best place kickers in the Pac-10, a sophomore from Chino, California, Luis Zendejas. His brother Max is the place kicker down at the University of Arizona, and he has a cousin who is the place kicker at the University of Nevada, Reno.
There are 5 Zendejases in all, and the high school Zendejas, they say, is probably going to be the best one of all, but it's an excellent story. The Zendejas brothers, they sound like a balancing act somewhere, but they're great kickers.
Couldn't ask for a better night here in Tempe, Arizona. 77 degrees, humidity 13%, and a crescendo comes up from this partisan crowd at Tempe. It's been sold out for months. 70,023. Zendejas is ready, the Trojans are ready, and the referee Lee Cook says he is ready. And we're just getting underway here as the Sun Devils 7-0 and USC 5-1, about ready to have a go at it. The last time the Trojans played Arizona State here in Tempe was back in 1978, and the Sun Devils pulled off a big surprise, knocked off the Trojans 20-7. Here is Zendejas. Joey Browner. No attempt to run it out. So Browner can't get it out of the end zone. Automatic touchback, and the Trojans will start out from their own 20-yard line. For Southern California, Sean Salisbury will be at quarterback. The wide receivers, Jeff Simmons, and the flanker back, Timmy White. Salisbury will have Zephyrini Lee at fullback. Todd Spencer is the tailback. Jeff Simmons, by the way, the leading receiver for the Trojans. He's caught 20. 1 touchdown. Mosbar, Murray, Slayton, Matthews, and Thomas up front for the Trojans. The first play of the ball game. 1st and 10 from the USC 20. Salisbury's going to throw, and he completes it. Salisbury throwing out here to Timmy White. First down for the Trojans as Salisbury cranks up the right arm and goes to Timmy White. First down on 11-yard gain. The pass up to the 31. The tackle was made by the cornerback, Dwayne Galloway.
And I think we can watch for Salisbury to throw a lot more. In just a few moments, we'll tell you why after we take a look at the defensive front for the Sun Devils, Jeff Coate. And you see Maxwell, Hicks, Battle, and Williams, the linebackers for ASU.
It's 1st and 10 now for the Trojans from their own 31. Jeff Simmons split off to the left side. It's going to be Todd Spencer. Todd Spencer gets a couple up close to the 33. Leading the charge was Jim Jeffcoat, a 255-pound senior defensive end from Cliffwood, New Jersey.
The reason we think we're going to see a lot more passing from Salisbury is if he can get those defensive backs isolated, like Galloway, Montgomery, Moyer, Richardson, he's going to try to do the quick out passes to beat the blitz if he can tonight and keep him guessing all night long.
It's 2nd and 9. They mark the forward progress to the 32. 2nd and 9 at the 32. It's going to be Spencer into the middle, flip down near the 40. Todd Spencer, the junior from Berkeley, getting up to the 40 and flipped down by Mike Richardson, the free safety. Mike Richardson has 18 career interceptions, needs just 2 more to tie the Pac-10 record.
And Michael Richardson said this is the game of his life. He's from Compton High School in Los Angeles, number 25. He is really looking forward to this one against his old, I guess a lot of his old teammates out in playing in that area in Los Angeles.
3rd down and a long one for the Trojans at the 40 of USC. In motion goes McCool, 3 tight ends. Spencer, first down and then some. Spencer breaks it up to the 50-yard line. Put down there by the left quarterback, Dwayne Galloway, who is from Crenshaw High in Los Angeles. The Trojans on the move have a first down at midfield.
Spencer's condition is going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on tonight, Mike. He, of course, had that bruised knee a couple of weeks ago, played very sparingly last week, but so far he looks like he's running very well.
In the early going here, and we've played about 2 minutes of the first quarter, Spencer's carried 3 times for 19. 19 yards for Spencer. It's going to be Zephyrini Lee, the fullback. He gets about 3 to the 47 of the Sun Devils. The tackle on Zephyrini Lee made by Mitch Callahan, a junior from Phoenix. Actually, he likes that first name pronounced Zephyrini. And the young man with a pinched nerve in his neck picks up 3.
They also have the school record for the longest run from scrimmage 1 week ago. People think about O.J. and they think about Charlie White, but Zeph Lee has the school record for the longest run from scrimmage.
It's 2nd and 7 at the ASU 47. Salisbury comes up and throws incomplete. He was throwing to White at about the 35 of ASU. Dwayne Galloway did a good job of covering the SC flanker, Timmy White.
And Sean Salisbury did a very good job in escaping the rush here. As you see right there at the bottom of your screen, Maxwell was giving chase. Salisbury almost completing that pass. He can look forward to a lot of pressure tonight. As we said at the top, you may expect them to blitz as many as 20 times in a given game.
John Salisbury was not equal to the pressure of Florida in the opener, won by the Gators 17-9, but he's matured a lot since that opener September 11th in Gainesville. 3rd and 7 for the Trojans at the Devils 47. Jeff Lee stopped at the 36. Lee could get only a yard, and that'll bring on the punting team for the Trojans as Lee was nailed by Mitch Callahan, the nose guard, Jim Jeffcoat, the end.
We talked so much about Vernon Maxwell. We haven't really had a chance to talk about Jeffcoat, who may be the best defensive lineman in the country as well. Also in the first round, the NFL scouts say he's excellent. Jim Jeffcoat.
David Pryor is averaging 42.2 yards per punt. Back deep for ASU is Scott Keegans. High spiral by Pryor. Fair catch signal for by Keegans. And a penalty marker goes down. Rod Williams ran in to Keegans, and a penalty marker dropped immediately.
Well, it wasn't a big hit, but it was enough of a bump for the referees to say, that's going to cost you. And it'll be, I guess, a roughing penalty here. Watch it again. You see it with the hand right up there. It was right up there for everybody to see. He was not shy in putting that hand up, and there you see him. Williams knocking him right there. That's going to cost him.
It appeared that Williams was trying to hold up, and his momentum carried him in. And here is the walk-off by the referee, Lee Cook.
Sometimes the referees may give them the benefit of the doubt if it's just a slight bump, but that time it was pretty obvious.
And now you can hear the chant from across the way. ASU, ASU. Well, the Devils have the ball for the first time tonight. 1st and 10, the ball marked at the Sun Devil 26. Quarterback is Todd Hans. Fullback, Tex Wright. The tailback, Willie Gittens. I would guess that ASU will stay on the ground. And it's Gittens. Runs right into George Achika. And on the bottom of the pile, Neil Hope and Ricky Gray was in there as well.
You mentioned before about staying on the ground. That's very key. If the Sun Devils can move the ball but hold on to it, that is going to be the key to the game. They want to try to give their powerful defense the best rest they can. But if their defense is on the field for more than 55% of the plays, I think USC is going to have a big advantage because they'll tire them out.
Doug Allen is the split off to the right side. The flanker back, Jerome Weatherspoon. Ron Brown, a fleet-footed pass catcher, one of the fastest men in college football today, is another wide receiver. Hans, he's going to throw, and he's going to go deep for Brown. Overthrows him. Ron Brown from Baldwin Park, California. They say he's the fastest football player in the nation. He already has scored 4 touchdowns, and he has the ASU record in the 100 meters, 10.15.
He has beaten, among others, Willie Gault and Herschel Walker, who are both of them are no slouches in the track department. Absolutely the fastest player, certainly since Henry Carr, who was a world-class sprinter from ASU a few years ago.
The flanker, Weatherspoon, wide to the right side on 3rd and 10 at the Sun Devil 26. It's going to be a delay. Tex Wright. He fumbles. Recovered by the Trojans. The Trojans come around. The 26. Tex Wright was the ball carrier, and he coughed it up.
There it is again on the replay. Take a look at. I think this is Neil Hope with the Del Rio as well. Del Rio probably had the big crack there, and then you see Troy West right on top of the ball right there. This is a big break, obviously, for USC, and Wright rarely fumbles the football, so that's kind of surprising.
Now it's a 1st and 10 at the 31 for the Trojans. We have 10:51 to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10 at the Southern California, or rather at the Arizona State 31. His old man. He ran into Jeff Lee, and it was as if Spencer had been decked by a right cross, and his dad, Thad Spencer, used to be a heavyweight contender.
That's right, he sure does. You see it right there. He would not have had a lot more room anyway, as you see. Number 94 for the ASU Sun Devils, Mark Hicks, was right on top of the play as well. He wouldn't have had a lot more ground anyway.
It'll be second down and 11 for the Trojans. The ball back at the 27 of ASU. In motion is McCool. The pitch goes to Spencer. They're swinging him out pretty well. He has no place to go. There is Vernon Maxwell.
In just a moment, we'll get a chance to see why they are calling Vernon Maxwell this year's Lawrence Taylor. Of course, Taylor's doing such a great job for the Giants, the New York Giants. Here it is, Maxwell, number 54. Look at how fast he is. He turns that play inside, and he comes up with a big tackle. Bourbon Day High School's number 54, Vernon Maxwell.
Now the Trojans with a 3rd and 16 at the ASU 32. Mike Walden and Roy Firestone from Tempe, and this crowd of 70,000 working themselves up into a lather, and we're only about 5 minutes into the first period. Spencer swarmed over by the Devils. Caldwell leading the charge with help from Vernon Maxwell. They will mark his forward progress at the 34, which means a loss of 2 more.
And I want to tell you something about this defense for ASU. You know, we tell you that they're the #1 team in the conference defensively. There are also 5 legitimate first-round picks on this defense. And so that tells you how outstanding it really is.
Now we're going to get a 50-yard field goal attempt by the sophomore from Reardon High School in San Francisco, Steve Jordan. A couple of weeks ago, Jordan booted one 52 yards against Stanford. That broke the SC record formerly held by Chris Limahalu. Scott Tinsley to hold. A kick by Jordan. It's got the distance. It's good. A 50-yard field goal by Steve Jordan. And the Trojans take the lead 3-0.
Isn't it unusual that everyone talked about Zendejas as being the kicker out here, and indeed he's a talented young man, but Steve Jordan has not been getting the big press, and of course he has the school record, as you mentioned, a 52-yarder. An excellent season for Steve Jordan.
All right, we have 8:39 to play in the first period. 3-0 SC.
There was no further scoring in the quarter. We moved to further action. Arizona State with the football.
One thing has been certain here tonight. These 2 punters, David Pryor for USC and Mike Black of ASU, have lived up to their advanced billing.
Well, both are excellent punters. We're going to talk more about it as the game's going along, but Black's big talent is his placement of punts, and that'll be a little bit later. We'll tell you why.
1st and 10, ASU from the Sun Devil 32, as you look at Todd Hans, number 1. He took over when Sandy Olszewski had knee surgery after the first game. Todd throwing. He's got his man, Darryl Clapp, out of bounds. It was Doug Allen, the split end.
Now watch this right here. He'll look one way, and he'll throw another. Watch it. This is just a head fake, like in basketball. He'll throw the other end of the field to Doug Allen. He's a 5'10" peanut of a receiver. Not a very big guy. Great hands, adequate speed, but runs nice routes. And right there, beating Troy West on that right side.
So a first down for Arizona State at the Trojan 43. It's going to be Malone. Moore. And Alvin Moore is tackled by Keith Bronner, but not until he picks up a first down for ASU as he carries the ball down to the 33 of the Trojans.
Alvin Moore is one of the members of the class that Frank Kush brought in before the whole world collapsed on ASU. He has great acceleration in his play, but what we say by that is he was involved in a school scandal involving grades, but was reinstated with this football team. Been playing some pretty good football, but it's been overshadowed by Darryl Clack.
The speedster, Ron Brown, comes out wide to the right side. Allen is also wide right. Tex Wright, the fullback, and the give is to Wright into the middle. And he plunges down to the 29. So Wright is able to pick up 3-4 yards, brought down by Neil Hope.
There you see Tex Wright. This guy is a Zonka type. He's not quite as big as Larry Zonka, of course, but he's very bulky. Just barrels over tacklers. You're going to see him. He's a lot of the punch in this running attack goes to Tex Wright, Dwayne Tex Wright. They call him Tex because he's from Texas.
Less than 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Ball is at the 29. Split backs for ASU. Clack on one side, Wright on the other. Todd Hahn throwing. ASU. Todd Hahn to Darryl Clack.
Well, Darryl Clack is the young man we told you about a few plays ago. A highly sought-after freshman. He is proving his worth. In fact, he reminds a lot of people of a young Tony Dorsett. We mentioned before, he ran 100, a 220, a 440 in high school, blinding speed, and he is going to go out for track at ASU. He has an outstanding track team. Darryl Clack with the touchdown there.
That was the 8th touchdown pass this season by quarterback Todd Hahn. Zendejas to have the extra point, and he does. ASU 7, USC 3, with 2.5 minutes to go, first period. Devils need only 4 plays to go 68 yards. The touchdown coming on the 29-yard aerial. Todd Hahn's to Darryl Clack. And Zendejas kicked the extra point. So it is 7-3 ASU with 2.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Deep for USC as Zendejas is ready to tee it up. Joey Bronner and also Anthony Gibson. Joey Bronner cuts back, and SC will take over at the 20.
There you get a chance to see the value of a kicker like Zendejas, who really booming. These balls look like they've been shot out of cannons, folks. And Bronner, who's an outstanding returner, cannot return the football. So puts them in the hole. We're going to take a look one more time at the touchdown here by Darryl Clack, number 42. This young man came alive in the Stanford game, and he is a real fan favorite here at Sun Devil Stadium. Just a freshman, already the leading rusher for this football team. When's the last time you heard of a freshman leading the team in rushing? Great player, 42, Darryl Clack.
The Trojans with a first down from their own 20. Down 7-3. Hurdling into the middle. Spencer loses it. ASU comes up with it.
Okay, take a look at it again right here. Spencer looked like he never really quite had possession of it, but trying to hurdle the line, and the ball was hit right here at the bottom. It pops out. Number 4, Paul Moyer. Look at this. Number 4, Paul Moyer will grab it at first. Then it rolls outside. Vernon Maxwell comes up with the recovery. Big play here. Here it is from the end zone angle. He'll try to hurdle the line. The ball is popped out. Maxwell popped it out. That's right. And then Moyer stops it, knocks the ball down, and Vernon picked the ball up. Big break for ASU.
First and 10 for the Devils at the Southern California 21. It'll be the tailback. That's Willie Gittens. Gittens stopped at the 19. A gain of just 2 by the senior from Fountain Valley, California, Willie Gittens.
Incidentally, on that last touchdown by Darryl Clack, we are now told it is his first career pass reception at ASU. That's a good way to break in, huh?
Absolutely. Second down and 8 now for the Devils at the 19. 82 is Doug Allen. 58, Mike White. Number 9, Alvin Moore. Moving over is Allen. No running back is Tex Wright. Hahn's good protection. Throws over the head of Alvin Moore. He might have thrown that one away on purpose.
Yeah, but there wasn't really too many people around Alvin Moore. Certainly he could have picked the ball off there. Even if he were tackled immediately, he would have picked up 4 or 5 yards. So it was not the greatest pass in the world. Hans is not particularly the best passer in the world either. As we told you at the top, he was not their starting quarterback when the season began. But Olszewski was hurt the first game, the first half, and Hans had to pick it up from that point on.
Hans has completed 52% of his passes to date, 2 out of 4 in this game, one of them a touchdown. That, of course, going to Clack. There's a big handoff. Here's Hans, and here's Del Rio in hot pursuit. Penalty marker goes down. Hans was brought down around the 16. Del Rio chasing Todd Hans, and it was Ricky Gray who made the tackle.
I'll tell you one thing, that was a mix-up. There was no question about the fact that Hans was not supposed to end up with that football because Darryl Rogers has virtually no backups for Todd Hans. Did not want to take any chance of his quarterback getting injured. They're talking to USC right now. Let's see what the penalty's all about. Looks like against ASU because they were talking to Ricky Gray. We'll have to still wait.
Holding against ASU. Ricky Gray is all fired up. Of course, he's from Tucson, Arizona.
I got to tell you an interesting story about Ricky Gray. Indirectly, he may have been responsible for ASU being put on probation a few years ago. They were involved in a scandal, and they were recruiting Ricky Gray as a linebacker, and apparently, allegedly, they offered Ricky Gray some land out here. Well, the NCAA found out about it, put the school on probation. So it's a kind of strange situation out there for Ricky Gray tonight.
That'll move the ball back to the 26 of Southern California.
Then came that Rutledge mess with Coach Frank Kush. So ASU was involved in a lot of scandals. They're clearing out of it now, though, and they can go to the Rose Bowl this year.
They come off probation at midnight, December the 31st. 3rd and 15 from the 26. Hans, he may be sacked, and he is. Jack Del Rio nails Todd Hans back at the 35. And it's the first time the Trojans have been able to get a sack on Hans.
Take a look at it again. It looked to me like Del Rio just came around White and just ran right through Mike White.
That 290-pounder couldn't do anything around. How about it?
I'll tell you something. They talk about White being so big that it takes an Alberto Salazar to get around him. He is a big boy, 292 pounds, put on 20 this year.
Now we'll get a field goal attempt from the 42 by Zendejas out of the hold of Mike Black, the punter. By the way, the man making the snap is Dave Oaten. This is well within his range. A 52-yard field goal by Zendejas.
And with that kick, Luis Zendejas has equaled a school record. At that point, Zendejas for career field goals was one short of the school record, which was set back in 1974 by Frank Cush's kid, Kevin.
No, Danny.
Danny, I'm sorry, right. Anyway, he kicked that field goal. He has tied now that record. And he's still a young man, too. He's got a couple more years to go at school here.
Well, the 52-yarder, his longest. Max doing a good job down at University of Arizona, and Luis here at ASU.
I finally beat them.
Anthony Gibson, Joey Bronner will be deep for USC. But the way Zendejas kicks, I'll be surprised if anybody is able to run back a kickoff tonight. Joey Bronner has to back up the field this one. Another touchback. So SC again will have to start from their own 20.
Well, obviously, here you take a look at the scoring plays with the Zendejas kick of 52 yards, 5-play, 20 yards, minute 55. Obviously, SC wants to start to move the football right now. They have not done it. They cannot afford to give it right back up because you don't want to have this defense too rested, ASU's defense. You want to try to keep them on the field, keep the ball on the ground.
Timmy White wide to the left side. Jeff Simmons split to the right. 1st and 10 USC from their own 20. ASU leading 10-3. Play action fake. Salisbury throwing to Simmons. Got to come back around to make the grab. And he does it. It's a great catch by Simmons, and that'll give the Trojans a first down up around the 32.
Let's talk about Jeff Simmons and the fact that he has improved a great deal since game 1 of this season. He's playing with a lot more authority now. Number 29 with his 21st catch. Now, remember, all of last year, he only had 29 receptions, so he's way ahead of last year's pace. Incidentally, Zendejas set a school record with the 52-yard kick, the distance.
1st and 10 from the 32 of USC. Salisbury again to throw, if he can. Over the head of Timmy White. Timmy White guarded by Dwayne Galloway.
And a lot of pressure that time put on him, did Salisbury.
ASU ranked number 7 in the AP poll this week. UCLA is 11th and USC 12th. Salisbury is 2 out of 4 to date for 24 yards. Jim Hefner, Tony Sevilla, Jim Easton working in our crew tonight. Stats being handled by Dave Walden. 10-3, ASU over the Trojans. This will be the last play of this quarter. Spencer, not much there. Spencer got just a yard, maybe 2. Spencer couldn't even make his cut. And this swarming ASU defense just as tough as advertised.
Watch number 25 when we get a chance to see the replay here. Michael Richardson. This young man is the Cadillac of defensive backs. Outstanding. Went to Compton High School as we see the quarter ending rather. But Michael Richardson's going to be a big factor in this game. Number 25 for ASU.
And the folks here in Tempe very pleased as the first quarter comes to a close. The Sun Devils 10, the Trojans 3. Referee Lee Cook. The umpire is Dave Brazel. The head linesman Jack Langley. The line judge Larry Thompson. Field judge Jim Scott, and the back judge is Dick Schnell. And here is the 15-yard walk-off on that personal foul penalty against Keaton, the offensive tackle of ASU.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see if USC can convert this big break now into some points, because ASU did it both times they got the ball back, and SC is going to really be forced to do the same. They have good field position on the 20-yard line for ASU. First down, let's watch.
88, Pat McCool, 1st and 10 for the Trojans from the Sun Devil 20. Zepp Lee is the fullback, and the tailback is Todd Spencer. It is Spencer trying to get to the outside. Brought down right about the line of scrimmage. Mark Hicks was in there, number 94, and on the bottom of the pile, 51 for ASU is Walt Boyer.
And Boyer really came in up that play. He was initially hit on the offensive line, then turned around and made a nice play out of it. Boyer is not a starter, but he is, in the substitution plan for Dow Rogers, plays a great deal of football. Was very upset over not starting, I might add, early in the season.
John Robinson talking with Todd Spencer, trying to say, now look, Todd, when you got the blocking going one way, you've got to go that way and then make your cut. Spencer has 27 yards in 14 carries, so the Sun Devils have done a good job of corralling number 23. Right back of John Robinson is Ted Toller, the man in the white shirt, with the USC cap, Hudson Houck, the offensive line coach. John was rather animated. And you see Darrell Rogers, the ASU coach, he has a baseball cap always stuck in his pants pocket, but it's always there. He never uses it. Maybe it's a good luck omen. So far, it's been good luck for the Sun Devils. They lead 10-3. Anthony Gibson is the tailback now for the Trojans. In front, Zephyrni Lee. Salisbury to throw. He's going for 7. Touchdown, USC! Salisbury on a 21-yard touchdown pass to Jeff Simmons, who made the grab right over the cornerback, Mario Montgomery.
All right, here it is once again. This is a nice catch here from Simmons. A pass. This is from the end zone angle. Montgomery has been beaten fairly often as a defensive back for ASU. He started at school here as a quarterback, then went to wide receiver. Has played some pretty good football of late, but has been suspect back there. And that time on a one-on-one situation, Simmons beat him for the touchdown.
And Steve Jordan, who was 19 out of 20 on points after touchdown, out of the hole of Scott Pensley, drills it through. We have a tie game here at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. The Trojans 10, ASU 10, with 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. That touchdown pass by Sean Salisbury was his 6th this season. Salisbury has completed 59% of his passes.
We know that Jeff Simmons talked about earlier in this week about this being the game of his life going against ASU. I want to mention also something about Mario Montgomery. We said that he was burned on that play. In fairness to Montgomery, he's been playing with a broken hand for the last 3 weeks, so he's a very tough kid out there as well.
Here's the kickoff, and it's going to be fielded by Cade. Out of bounds around the 20. Running him out of bounds, Dwayne Bickett. Rod Williams also over there, number 43. That touchdown grab by Simmons was his second of the year and the 6th touchdown throw by Salisbury. 10-10 here with a little over 8 minutes to go. And everybody's loving it here in Tempe. Well, maybe not everybody, but a few. Happy Halloween. 1st and 10 now from the 20. Clint Hampton is the new nose guard now for the Trojans. The tackles on defense, Brian Luft and Byron Darby. ASU with the ball from their own 20. Hans on the play action fake. Throws it complete. He catched the ball out of bounds. Yep, he did, and then stepped out of bounds. Jerome Weatherspoon made the grab, and a good catch and a good pass.
Weatherspoon was one of the players who was in Coach Darrell Rogers' doghouse early in the year. In fact, all the receivers were. They weren't catching the football when they had to, but Weatherspoon made 2 very big catches against Stanford in that final drive a few weeks ago. Number 89, also a pro prospect. A real outstanding receiver, is just beginning to come on now for ASU.
And he just did get that 1 foot down, just by a whisker. 1st and 10 at the ASU 33. Alvin Moore to the right side. First man to make contact was Ricky Gray. Alvin Moore dropped it around the 35, 36.
And I'll tell you, Keith Browner really laid a lick on him just now. You see how slowly Alvin Moore. Yeah, but he also got up very slowly, too. He's limping, too.
Well, we had a penalty drop away from play at the far side. Illegal procedure against ASU. Now, the line of scrimmage was the 33. And while they walk off this penalty, it'll give me an opportunity to remind you that the Trojans will be back in the Los Angeles Coliseum next Saturday against the California Golden Bears of Joe Kapp. And California, a victor this weekend, 28-14 over Oregon State up in Corvallis.
Joe's did a real fine job with the Golden Bears this year.
1st and 15 now for the Devils. Back in their own 28. 73 is Ron Sowers, a 6'3", 260-pound offensive guard for ASU. We're tied at 10. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Brian Luft makes the hit on Darrell Clack. They will mark his progress at around the 28, so no gain on the play. Call it 2nd and 15. ASU off to the best start since 1975. And that year, in 75, the Sun Devils were 12-0. Clack has carried twice for a -2 yards. But he did make that touchdown grab, 29 yards from Todd Hans. 2nd and 15 from the 28. Hans, the junior from Torrance, California, almost a sack by Achika, just does get rid of it. A great one-handed grab there made by Alvin Moore, and then Moore is dropped by Tim Sullivan and Troy West. Oh, Achika almost had him.
Take a look at it one more time. Achika, number 78, being double-teamed right here. He still almost gets in there. And Hans doing a nice job throwing to his secondary receiver, Alvin Moore, who made a nice one-handed catch. Stopped there by Troy West.
They spot the ball at the 32, a gain of only 4. 3rd and 11 for the Maroon and Gold. It's the Maroon and Gold against the Cardinal and Gold here tonight before 70,000 plus in Tempe. Great night for football. 77 degrees at kickoff time. Todd Hans has time, and he rifles this one complete. Gets it up to the 41. It's going to be, well, about a yard shy of a first down. That was the tight end, Ron Wetzel, a 6'7", 238-pound senior from Pittsburgh, PA.
They don't throw to the tight end too often here for ASU, but when they do, it's usually for a big possession play. Wetzel, a possession-type receiver, has excellent hands. And it's going to be close to a first down, but ASU does not have it. Wetzel, as Michael mentioned, 6'7", 240 pounds. He's a big kid and a definite tight end prospect for the NFL.
Mike Black ready to punt to Joey Bronner, and Joey standing all the way back to his 20. USC 10, ASU 10. Little over 5 minutes still to be played in the first half. Mike Walden and Roy Firestone from Tempe, Arizona. Another great booming spiral punt. Browner all the way back to the 10, to the 20. Browner up to the 26 before he is dropped. Joey Browner, and the tackle was made by Dave Oaten, who made the snap. And with 5:08 to go in the first half, we are still deadlocked here in Tempe, 10-all.
In the quarter, we move to later action with USC in the football.
A 49-yard punt by Black. When Pryor gets a boomer underway and it's Black's turn, he tries to outkick Pryor, and then Pryor tries to outkick Black, and that's the way it's been here in the first half. Salisbury fires complete to Jeff Simmons, who steps out of bounds at the 49.
And Simmons again working on Mario Montgomery, number 34. That's the young man that he beat on a touchdown pass before. He has been the defensive weak link for Arizona State so far this year, but that was a very difficult pass to cover.
Gain of 9 on the play. The Trojans and Sean Salisbury will have a 2nd and 1 near midfield.
So far, Simmons is playing probably the game of the year for him, too.
Tony Slayton, the SC center. Lee and Spencer in the backfield. McCool moving back and forth. It'll be Spencer at the 50, down to the 45 of ASU.
That was a good call by Sean Salisbury, because he saw the blitz coming on the right side and pitched to the left side. A good block also on that right side as well. And SC picking up some good yardage there for the first down.
And the tackle on Spencer made by Brian Caldwell from Westminster, California. He, too, is a product of Fountain Valley High School. 1st and 10 at the ASU 45. 1:46 to go in this first half. The Trojans would like to get a score. Here is Salisbury. Oh, dropping the ball is Timmy White. He was in the open. The pass was okay. Right on target. White simply dropped it at the 33.
I think he was surprised at how wide open he was, too. He may have turned his head just before. Yep, you see he started to look upfield right there.
He's looking at Richardson, who was coming over to crack him.
That's right, and that's for good reason, because Richardson is probably the hardest hitter of anybody on this football team.
Trojans would at least like to get into field goal range for Steve Jordan. 2nd and 10 at the ASU 45. A 10-10 tie. 1:40 to go in the first half. And Spencer is thrown down. Tackle is made by Wayne Apuna from Pearl City, Hawaii, the brother of Ben Apuna, who was a big star here at ASU a couple of years ago.
In fact, Ben Apuna just signed recently for the USFL, so he's going to play some USFL out here for Arizona, the Arizona franchise. Phoenix, I believe.
And the nickname of the Phoenix team?
I have no idea.
The Wranglers.
Okay. You learn something new every day.
Now you're up to date on everything. Ball's at the 47. The crowd trying to spur on this ASU defense. 3rd and 8-11. Lone running back is Lee. Oh, Salisbury gets away. Down he goes this time at the 45.
Maxwell. Vernon Maxwell. Well, what else can you say about number 54, Vernon Maxwell? 4'6" speed in the 40. They say he is like Maxwell House coffee, good to the last drop.
But he gets away from Maxwell somehow, some way right here.
But that was really what started the play. And then you see number 94 come in on the picture, too. That's Mark Hicks, the outside linebacker. Vernon Maxwell was the reason that play was started.
10 men ready to rush David Pryor. The line of scrimmage is the 45 of USC. Scott Keegan's standing back at his own 10. High snap, here they come. Pryor gets away a high spiral this time, but not great distance. Fair catch signal for by Keegan's at the 29. And with 17 seconds left in this first half, the Devils will have a first down from their own 29. 10-10. Well, this figured to be tight. You can't get it any closer.
Similar to the Stanford game, Mike, of about 3 weeks ago. I think both teams were tied at the half 10-10 as well. And then that was a wild football game, too. We're going to have a good second half as well.
ASU pulled it out in the final 40-some-odd seconds, 21-14, 21-17 over Stanford. That was a couple of weeks ago here in Tempe. Hans, under heavy pressure, completes it to Gittens, and Willie Gittens steps out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 12 seconds left in the half. That offensive line of Darrell Rogers has done a pretty good job of protecting Todd Hans. He's been sacked only once. Here comes Alvin Moore into the game for the Devils.
Well, Arizona State's offensive line has been a bit suspect this year, largely because they don't have the depth that, say, USC has. But they've done a pretty good job protecting Hans, and, of course, they really have nothing else to go to if Hans goes down.
Second down and 6 from the 33. On the delay, Tex Wright tripped up. Neil Hope is on top of him there, but he was tripped up by Byron Darby. And a timeout called by ASU. That will stop the clock with 4 seconds left in the first half. And the Devils will get one more chance.
Think to put it up?
Is tomorrow Sunday?
Hey, you never know. Sometimes they want to sit on it and take it into the locker room tied at 10. Hey, come out and see the Trojans when they return home next week to face Coach Joe Cap's California Golden Bears. It's going to be a crucial Pac-10 game. Tickets available by calling the USC ticket office at 743-2620. And if you have a young offspring or a relative who wants to attend USC, drop by the campus beforehand, and there'll be a morning full of information about the university. Call the Alumni House at 743-2983 for reservations and further information.
In 2 weeks' time, the Trojans will be back in the state of Arizona against the University of Arizona Wildcats down in Tucson. So it is Cal, November the 6th, the U of A down in Tucson, November the 13th, then UCLA in the Rose Bowl, November the 20th, and Notre Dame in the Coliseum, November 27th.
Also want to mention that Arizona, much improved football team. They beat, well, I guess they tied UCLA, and the Notre Dame game a week later, too. So those were 2 very outstanding football games for University of Arizona.
Doug Allen is wide to the left side. 5 defensive backs now for USC. 4 seconds left in the half. Tex Wright to the 50. Wright is finally brought down at the 31. And on the tackle, Troy West and Neil Hope. That's the end of the first half. An exciting first half here in Tempe as the Devils crossed them up, and they gave him the fullback right rather than putting it in the air, and Wright ripped off a gain of 31 yards all the way down to the 31 before he was dropped from behind by Troy West with help from Neil Hope. So at halftime here at Tempe, we are tied at 10. Tied up at 10, and not only was the first half even, the statistics were just as even as the score.
And when is the last time a USC running attack was limited to the 14 yards an entire half? That's what they got. And ASU had 42 yards, but 31 came on Wright's run before the half, so they only really had 11 yards. If you take away that run, it's been a real defensive struggle. We'll talk more about the stats in just a few moments.
Salisbury is hit on 6 out of 10 for 84 yards, and here's the kick by Luis Zindejas. And once again, Joey Bronner will make no attempt to run it out.
Okay, here are the first half stats. In first downs, dead even. They both had 7, both teams. Rushing yardage, fairly even as well. Passing yardage, 84 yards passing for SC, 96 for ASU. A bit surprising there because Hahn's not supposed to be the thrower, perhaps, that Salisbury had. Total offense, 102 yards, 153 for ASU.
The Trojans come out over the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 20. John Salisbury at quarterback. Zepp Lee is the fullback. And the tailback is Todd Spencer. And Spencer, who has only 32 yards, he gets just 2 on this carry into the middle. They will mark his forward progress at the 21. So credit Spencer with just a 1-yard gain. Tackled by Brian Caldwell and Mitch Callahan. Caldwell is the defensive end, generally on the right side, although they do flip-flop from time to time. And Mitch Callahan is the nose guard. 2nd down 9 at the SC 21. Salisbury across the middle, a little slant-in pass pattern that is caught by Timmy White, the flanker.
As we mentioned before at the top of the game, you're going to see a lot of quick openers, slant-in patterns like this. This is to avoid the blitz situation. White with a nice catch there, and then hit immediately, and brought down by Dwayne Galloway, the cornerback. Galloway from L.A. He is a senior. He's only 5'8". He's a little guy, but he really hits hard. And
the pass reception to Timmy White, good for 11 yards, and a first down for the Trojans from their own 32. It's Spencer. Spencer trying to gallop his way across the 35 and is stopped at around the 36.
Well, obviously,
Mitch Callahan made the tackle.
Excuse me, Mike. Obviously, the key was to try to stop Spencer. ASU knew that, and they did a good job. He only averaged 2 yards a pop in the first half. He ended up with 32 yards total in the first half.
Illegal procedure against the Trojans. That's going to cost them 5. Up front for Southern California, Don Mosbar at 6'7" and 270, and Kelly Thomas 6'6", 270, the tackles. The guards, Joe Murray, 6'5", 265. Bruce Matthews, 6'5", 265. The guards, Tony Slayton, 6'4", 255 in the middle. Tony Slayton is the center. The new tailback for the Trojans, the senior from San Fernando, Anthony Gibson. 1st and 15. Salisbury winds up and tosses one, dropped by Timmy White. White had that ball. That's the second one that White has dropped tonight.
That time Galloway was right there. We mentioned it just a few moments before that Galloway is a big hitter on this team. He stands only 5'8", but he has been a real nemesis on the defense for the receivers, and they know about it. Look at that sign right there. A bit morbid on Halloween.
That's the way they feel here in Tempe. 2nd and 15 at the 27. It's Lee. Gets to the 29, and this swarming ASU defense really shutting off the SC ground game.
I have a correction also to make, Mike. I may have mentioned they had 14 first-half yards. That's incorrect. They had a total of 38. Spencer and Lee coupled for 38 yards, and Wright and Moore for a total of 64 yards. That's the correction on rushing down total.
Williams and Caldwell made the last tackle, so it'll be 3rd and 13. There's Jack Hubbard, the former USC president, along the SC sidelines. 3rd and 13 at the 29. Salisbury has time, fires this one incomplete. He was throwing for Timmy Ware at the 40, and Ware covered by Dwayne Galloway.
Good pass coverage that time by Galloway, too.
Did you notice Salisbury snapping off that chin strap? Unhappy that that pass wasn't caught. And David Pryor will come on now to punt on 4th down for USC. Deep is Scott Keegan, standing at about the 25. We're in the first 2 minutes of play here in the 3rd quarter. Score tied at 10. And Pryor delivers this one. Keegan's will field it at the 31, and down he goes. I don't know whether Keegan's wanted to go down or whether he slipped. I guess he slipped on the 38-yard punt by Pryor.
We move to later action with USC in the football.
10:21 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Game still tied at 10. Trojans will have a 1st and 10 now from their own 23. Pitch goes to the tailback, Spencer. Stopped at the 23. Vernon Maxwell in there again. So Vernon Maxwell, who is the number 2 tackler on this Arizona State University team, averaging 10 per, has been going from side to side, shutting down the SC running game.
If you're looking for a weakness on Vernon Maxwell's part, it is the fact that the coaches say he freelances a little bit too much, that maybe he doesn't play particularly well in a set type of defense, but that has been shut down a lot this year. He's playing much more team defense this year.
Salisbury has time. Now he's going to have to unload it. And it's going to be intercepted. Mario Montgomery brings it up to the 46. Salisbury was throwing to Jeff Simmons. Mario Montgomery from Banning, California, who had a great game against Stanford a couple of weeks ago, makes the interception.
Okay, watch it one more time on the replay. Here's Salisbury looking to throw, and then watch at the last second, his arm is going to be hit. Looked like number 94. That is Mark Hicks, the outside linebacker. The ball was basically batted right into the arms of Mario Montgomery, number 34. He caught it like a center fielder, picked it up, and then Jeff Simmons coming up with a nice tackle right there.
Now the Sun Devils with a 1st down at their 46. ASU 10, USC 10. 9.5 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter.
There's an audible right there.
Out of the eye, Willie Gittens is the tailback, and Gittens is slowed up by Brian Luft. And Luft was able to get him down right at about the line of scrimmage, the 46. Brian Luft, a sophomore, went to Ballard High School up in Fresno, 6'6", 255.
You see number 44, Willie Gittens, going out right now. You talk about adversity for these young players. Gittens, on the way to coming to school here, was involved in a very serious automobile accident, an accident that killed Fountain Valley High School football star Doug Thompson. Gittens has had to deal with that for the rest of his college career. It's really been a difficult time for him.
2nd and 10 at the ASU 46. Lone running back is Tex Wright. The fake to Wright. Hans to throw to the tight end Wetzel. Out of bounds. Neil Hope gets him out of bounds at the 38 of USC. A big tight end, Wetzel, at 6'7", an imposing target.
They call him Tree. He is that big, 6'7", as you mentioned before. As we mentioned also before, the tight end is not really thrown too much. They may go 2 or 3 games to the tight end, but he is a possession-type receiver. Great catch, great hands, I should say. Lines up on both sides, almost an equal amount of time. Now, Wetzel is a guy that they talk about as a potential pro prospect.
Ron Brown is wide to the left side, and SC has to be concerned about him. He can fly. To the right side is Doug Allen. Here comes Brown this way. From the SC 38. Hans. Complete to Wetzel at the 6.
Well, we mentioned also the fact that they don't throw too much, but all of a sudden they've gone to him. Catching SC a bit napping on the tight end, Ron Wetzel. He does not have great speed, but it's good enough. He's a good third down receiver usually, but because so much of the passing attack has gone to the backs this year, really the tight end has been left out. He's been mostly a blocking type of tight end, but that time a great catch, and ASU with the first and goal to 6.
32 yards on the pass play. Todd Hans to Wetzel. Hans is now 11 out of 16 for 149 yards and a touchdown. That of 29 yards to Darrell Clack. Todd Hans at quarterback. Wide to the right side is Doug Allen. Coming in motion, Witherspoon. The pitch to Alvin Moore at the 5. Alvin Moore, touchdown!
And the reason that time Alvin Moore was strong was a good block by number 75. At the top of your screen, he is John Keaton. Keaton with a good block, turning him outside, and Alvin Moore was sprung for the touchdown right there.
The chant starts up again. ASU, ASU. Black to hold, Zendejas to kick. And Luis Zendejas makes it 17-10 Sun Devils at the midway point in the third quarter.
That this is the second largest crowd to ever see an ASU football game.
71,071. They can't get any more in here. I don't know how they got that many in. Capacity is 70,000. 023. If they squeezed in slightly more than another 1,000. All right, Zendejas.
Look at that kick.
This one back across the end line. And Zendejas seems to respond to the cheers of this crowd in Tempe. First and 10 now for the Trojans from their own 20. SC trailing 17-10.
Okay, I look for SC now to try to throw the football, perhaps working on number 34, Mario Montgomery. They had some success earlier going with Jeff Simmons. Salisbury is going to have to open it just up a little bit. He has not been able to establish any semblance of a running game.
You have to give the ASU defense worlds of credit. McCool in motion. Spencer into the middle. Couple of yards, no more. On the bottom of the pile, Brian Caldwell, who was a high school teammate of Willie Gittens. And Caldwell will long be remembered by Sun Devil fans because he blocked an Ohio State punt a couple of years ago and ran it back 46 yards for a touchdown.
That's right. He's also blocked the 2 punts from running back for touchdowns, including against Kansas State this year. He's getting a lot bigger upstairs, is Brian Caldwell. Good football player.
One thing to do it against Ohio State, another thing against Kansas State.
That's for sure.
First and 10 at the SC 20. 17-10 ASU. Salisbury, here comes Moyer after him. Battle 2. Salisbury has to unload it out of bounds. He got rid of that ball because Paul Moyer, the strong safety, and the inside linebacker, Greg Battle, in hot pursuit.
We have a player down right now, number 37.
Greg Battle.
Yeah, he's the freshman linebacker.
He may be out of gas after he really tried to sprint around and get Salisbury.
Okay, now you see Moyer, number 4, right here, and then at the last minute, Battle coming into the picture, and Salisbury just dumps it out of bounds. lot of pressure. We talked before about the fact that they may blitz as many as 20 times in a game. I think they're at a higher percentage than that right now. They're way ahead of that pace right now.
In the second half, Salisbury has completed only 1 of 5, and he's had 1 intercepted. John Robinson trying to maintain his stoic image along the sidelines. His club is down 17-10. This is nothing new to John Robinson. I remember the LSU game in 1979, and the Trojans pulled it out on a pass to Kevin Williams. So maybe John is chewing him up inside, but outwardly, rather calm appearance as he talks things over with Sean. And Salisbury's quite mad. You notice that? He's mad at himself.
Got to keep his poise, though. That's the one thing. You have plenty of time in this football game. You're down by 7 points.
That's what John Robinson is trying to do. Calm down, settle down his sophomore quarterback.
Incidentally, come out and join Coach John Robinson in his weekly Monday morning quarterback meeting. It's every Monday at SC's Town and Gown, with a reception beginning at 11:30, lunch at noon. Coach Robinson's going to review today's game, show highlights of the contest, preview next week's opponent, and answer some questions. And everybody's welcome, of course. Call 743-2771 for more information.
John Robinson is trying to block out the 71,000 ASU fans and all of the noise. Doing a pretty good job of it down there. And he's trying to convince Sean Salisbury he's got to do the same right now. 3rd and 8. This crowd getting louder and louder. 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. ASU 17, USC 10. Simmons wide to the left. Listen to this crescendo.
Here they come.
Salisbury in trouble. Richardson.
Michael Richardson from Compton High School, and it looks like Moyer is hobbled with an injury at the top of your screen, but Michael Richardson coming up with the blitz there from the safety position. It was a safety blitz on that play. Richardson sacking Sean Salisbury. We mentioned before the fact that it's very unusual to have a safety with as many sacks as Richardson has, and it looks like Moyer is hurt very seriously right now. Could be just a cramp, but it also could be a muscle pull from the back of the leg. Here it is one more time, a safety blitz, both Moyer and Richardson. This is Richardson, number 25. Number 4 is Paul Moyer, right there at the top of your screen, and Richardson comes up with the tackle. Maybe we can see where the injury took place. Nevertheless, it looks like Moyer's hurt rather badly.
Now the Sun Devils have 10 men lined up to put pressure on David Pryor, who's got to deliver this ball inches away from that goal line. Waiting the snap of Joe Leinbach. Pryor gets it away. And Scott Kagans is backed up to the 36 as he fields that punt by Pryor. A 50-yarder by David Pryor. And with just under 7 minutes to play in the third quarter, the Sun Devils on top of USC 17-10.
For the quarter, we move to later action with USC in the football.
For the Trojans, John Salisbury at quarterback. Zepp Lee, Todd Spencer, the running backs. It is Todd Spencer. And Todd Spencer goes to the 24. Todd Spencer, well contained by this lightning-quick ASU defense. Mike Langston brought Spencer down.
I think this is an important drive now. This is an important series. SC has to hold on to the football here. They can't afford to give the ball back once again to ASU and give their defense the rest that they want.
How contained has Spencer been? Well, he's carried 20 times for 39 yards. Only 39. Salisbury to Simmons. Simmons steps out of bounds around the 43. Jeff Simmons making the grab. Mike Richardson, the free safety, ran him out of bounds.
This is the 5th catch of the night for Jeff Simmons, who's been very, very busy. Richardson, the best, working on him right now. And that is Mario Montgomery, 34, who missed him initially. And then a busy man tonight, number 25.
Jeff Simmons comes wide to the left side. 1st and 10 for the Trojans from their own 42. Gibson is the tailback, and Anthony Gibson gets the call. Makes his cut. Brought down. Mike Richardson makes a sure tackle. A first-team consensus All-American in 1981. The leading tackler in the ASU secondary the last 4 years. Number 25, Mike Richardson. Ball is spotted down at the 41. Call it 2nd and 11. Less than 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Sun Devils 17 to 10.
Here comes the blitz.
Salisbury going long and deep, and it's dropped.
And Salisbury's hurt. Salisbury is hurt.
Timmy Ware tried to make the grab, but Dwayne Galloway had him well covered.
It looked like Salisbury was cracked by Richardson, number 25, and Sean is in pain. He is in big pain.
And John Robinson is saying something to one of the officials. It appears to be his right knee.
Oh, boy.
Dr. Simmel is out there. Jack Ward, Paul Williams, a couple of the SC trainers.
All right, here it is again. Now, Maxwell is number 54, but this is Richardson who hit him. And I think it was by accident. He seemed to fall on his leg. This is secondary, of course, to the play. What happened up the top was more significant. Salisbury, who's not happy, by the way, looking over at Richardson, he thinks maybe it was a cheap shot. Now, maybe I'm putting words in his mouth here, but he was looking over there with a bit of... he was angry.
Scott Tensley will be the new USC quarterback. John Salisbury wincing in pain. Salisbury tonight, 8 out of 17 for 113 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 intercepted. So Scott Tensley, the senior from Oklahoma City, cranks it up and he throws, and it's no good to Timmy Ware.
And that time, Greg Battle was draped all over Tinsley. Boy, I'll tell you something. Their linebackers are just so fast, so quick. And I'll tell you something, Salisbury looks like he suffered some sort of a knee injury.
At a tough position that Scott Tensley had. He came off of the bench and fired the first time he was in there tonight. Now David Pryor will be back in punt formation. Dropping back deep for Arizona State, Scott Keegan. Low snap. Pryor gets it away. It'll hit at the 25 and go out of bounds at the 25. Dwayne Bickett right in front of the play along with Matt Johnson. But the Devils have the ball and the lead, 17 to 10 with 3:36 to go, third quarter.
ASU will take over first and 10 at the 25.
It goes on here at Tempe. ASU, ASU. That's the chant of 71,071. Todd Hans dumps it off to Willie Gittens. Good, sure tackle by Keith Browner. Brings Gittens down at the 25. One of the Browner brothers, the fifth of 6 Browner brothers to play college football.
And there's another one yet coming. Gerald Browner. Remember that name, folks, for University of Georgia. He weighs something like, it now we're told, 330 pounds.
Where do you think he wants to play?
Anywhere he wants to.
Yes. Second down and 10 at the 25. He's redshirting this year at the
right.
University of Georgia. Second and 10 at the 25. 17 to 10, ASU. Witherspoon coming in motion. Hans pumping one. Here comes Del Rio. Nails him at the 20. Jack Del Rio, the sophomore from Hayward. 6'4", 235. Good, sure tackle by Del Rio.
Well, Del Rio's been getting good penetration all night. He, as well as Browner. I think Del Rio, Browner, and Achika have had outstanding games for USC defensively tonight. They're getting a good rush on Hans and forcing him out of the pocket just a little bit.
Dave Walden, handling our stats, informs us that's the third time that Hans has been sacked in the game. 3rd and 15 now, with the ball back at the ASU 20. In motion, Ron Brown. Willie Gittens. Willie Gittens gets a couple of yards as he sweeps the left side. Ricky Gray in there on the hit. So it'll be 4th down, and ASU will be forced to punt. 4th and 13. The clock moving. We have 1:45 to go in this third quarter, and it's a 17 to 10 advantage for Arizona State. Mike Black, who's been punting so well for the Sun Devils, ready to deliver this one to Joey Browner. Joey's up at about his own 36. Dave Oaten with a good snap for Mike Black. Oh, they're coming after him, and they almost got it. Browner is back all the way up to the 28. Joey Browner. SC had a rush on, but Black was able to get it away 50 yards.
Wow.
And Dave Langlois came within a whisker of blocking that Mike Black punt. You know, Black has had only one block in his career at ASU.
He doesn't waste any time getting that ball up in the air, I'll tell you that.
Now the Trojans with a 1st and 10 from their own 23.
And Salisbury is not coming back, folks.
Scott Tinsley, the quarterback for Southern California. 1:21 to play, 3rd period. Whoops! Bad snap from center. It was either a bad snap or Tinsley was moving too quickly.
At some point, I would like to take a look at the replay on the Salisbury sack. It may take us a few minutes, but if we can do it, we'll get a chance to see Michael Richardson. That is who Sean was very, very angry at when he went out of the game. On that play, it looked as though Richardson may have fallen into the path of Salisbury, perhaps unintentionally. We'll find out, was it intentional? Can we see it if it was intentional? If that is what cost Sean Salisbury the rest of this game.
2nd and 9 as the Trojans able to recover that fumble. Ball is at the 29 of Southern California. The fullback, Lee, pounded to the ground. Jim Jeffcoat, a defensive end, making the hit on Zephyr Lee.
Well, Jeffcoat, along with Maxwell, really gives ASU an awesome display up front. Most of the traffic, by the way, is away from Jeffcoat and Maxwell. This kid was personally recruited by Frank Cush, Jim Jeffcoat was. He's 4'9" speed, gets double-teamed quite a bit. That's why you haven't heard more of his name tonight.
3rd and 9 at the 29. Scott Tinsley taking over for the injured Sean Salisbury. They're coming after him, just to get it away. Oh, almost intercepted by Jeffcoat. Boy, did they have a blitz on Tinsley. He just looked up and they were swarming all over him, lucky to get it away.
It's been rough back there, folks. Lots of pressure. It's been really brutal. Watch the blitz once again. There you see it. Tinsley has absolutely no time.
And at the end of the 3rd quarter here at Tempe, a roar from the 71,000 fans in Sun Devil Stadium. 17-10 ASU.
We move to later action with USC in the football.
So now the Trojans will have a 1st down. We have 13.5 minutes left. ASU 17, SC 10. Following the 51-yard punt by Mike Black, it'll be a 1st down for the Trojans at the 22. Todd Spencer and the Trojan fullbacks have found running room sparse against this swarming Arizona State defense. Mark Hicks made the hit. Ball is at the 25. 2nd down and 7. Jeff Simmons and Timmy Ware go wide to the left side. Scott Tinsley hands it off to Todd Spencer, and he runs right smack dab into Walt Boyer and carries Boyer for another yard or two. He will spot his forward progress up to the 31, a pickup of 6, setting up a 3rd and 1 now for the Trojans.
Well, we're also going to have to see, I think, a little bit more of what Tinsley is made of, putting himself into a tough situation right here. Salisbury's out. This is trial under fire, trial by fire for Scott Tinsley.
Spencer only 48 yards in 22 carries. So Pat McCool moving back and forth. Tinsley going to carry for a couple up to the 33. That was like a naked reverse.
Bootleg, it looked like. Was it by design? It's hard to say.
Vernon Maxwell brought Tinsley down.
Here it is again. Was this a bootleg? Yeah, this looked like a fake. Tinsley with a nice fake there, but looked like Maxwell wasn't fooled. Right there, 54.
And Paul Moyer right with him. Well, the Trojans, on that little maneuver by Tinsley, able to pick up the 1st down. So it'll be a 1st down for the Trojans from their 33. 12 minutes left in this game. ASU on top, 17-10. Tinsley firing, and it's complete to Simmons. Out of bounds at the 50. Mike Richardson pulls him out. Oh, another first down for the Trojans on the 17-yard pass play. Tinsley to Jeff Simmons.
Once again, good coverage that time, by the way, by Mario Montgomery. But once again, it is going to Simmons, who's been the money receiver for SC. And boy, I'd say Richardson is just all over the field.
Jeff Simmons, number 29, has caught 6 tonight for 91 yards and 1 touchdown.
It's the busiest game this year.
Tinsley going long and deep, and Simmons can't catch up with it. Mario Montgomery right with Jeff Simmons. Well, I tell you, this SC offensive line has done a job this season, but they've been manhandled by this lightning-quick Arizona State defense.
This is Montgomery step for step with Jeff Simmons.
2nd and 10. So the running game hasn't helped the Trojans tonight, and the number 1 quarterback, Sean Salisbury, is on the bench with a knee injury. And it's 2nd and 10 now at the Sun Devil 49. Tinsley falls down. Tinsley was trying to get away from Wayne Apuna and also from Walt Boyer.
Paul Boyer as well, number 4. That was a safety blitz once again. Boy, I tell you, almost every time there's a passing situation, there's a blitz. But, you know, even if you want to read the blitz, there's nothing you can do about it because the speed is so much. It's really hard to beat them on the blitz.
Timmy Ware, 1934, Zephyr Lee, Scott Tinsley at quarterback. ASU 17-10.
Here comes the blitz again.
Here comes Moyer, and he's got Tinsley. Paul Moyer, a senior from Villa Park, California. He was a junior college All-American at Fullerton College. Number 4, Paul Moyer.
You get a chance to take a look at this young man. He was not expected to play for ASU this year. Defensive backfield coach Willie Shaw, who was the brother of Nate, thought that as a senior he deserved that one last shot, and he really came alive in the Stanford game. He was all over John Elway. He's doing a great job on SC's quarterbacks.
And again, David Pryor, who's been in there a lot tonight, ready to boot it out again. And he roots it out of there. Another high spiral. Fair catch signal 4 by Keegan.
We move to later action with USC in the football.
8:41 to go. Trojans with a first down from their 37.
Let's not forget Pryor had a close to a 60-yarder tonight, too. Tremendous display of punting.
Scott Tinsley at quarterback. Zeph Lee is the fullback. Todd Spencer is the tailback. First down at the SC 37. Tinsley throwing across the middle. It's no good. Mario Montgomery was back there as Tinsley was trying to unload and pick up on the blitz and take advantage of it, throwing to Jeff Simmons.
Now, people would say, well, that wasn't a very good pass, but that was about the only pass he could get off. He just had no time to throw.
In a way, this reminds me somewhat of the first half of the Florida game, the opener September of the 11th.
Wilbur Marshall, right. But I'm surprised they're not throwing any screens. I haven't seen any screen passes, or virtually few.
Each team has 2 timeouts left. 8.5 minutes left in this game. The Sun Devils lead at 17-10. It's Todd Spencer. Spilled hard at the 37. Doing it, Jim Jeffcoat.
He may be the first defensive lineman picked in the draft in the NFL, by the way. Jim Jeffcoat, as we mentioned before, personally recruited by Cush. Excellent pass rusher, 4.9 speed, gets double-teamed a lot. And because of Maxwell and Jeffcoat, the teams shy away from running on ASU, and they run the opposite way.
3rd and 10 for Scott Tinsley and the Trojans at the 37. Tinsley completes this one. Tinsley throwing to Jeff Simmons, out of bounds at around the 47. It's going to be close to a first down.
And now the clock is beginning to become a factor. 7:50, say, left in the game. SC would like very much to get it in right here. They may not have another opportunity. You never know.
The referee, Lee Cook, They bring in the chain gang. Yep, he's going to do that right now. Scott Tinsley has a word or two with Walt Ransom and Ted Tollner of the SC coaching staff. See whether he got the first down. First down, USC. Scott Tinsley, who has been called upon in a relief role before. A couple of years ago against Washington and Notre Dame. Here's Todd Spencer at the 50, 45. Spencer flipped down at the 42. So a run of some 11 yards by Todd Spencer, one of his biggest gains of the night. Mike Langston and Mario Montgomery put him down.
He turned it away from Jeffcoat, and that time, and also Callahan too, and that time, that really bails SC with another first down, back-to-back first downs right now. That really bails SC out. They have good field position at the 42.
And listen to this ASU crowd. They're getting a little concerned now. First and 10, the ball at the ASU 42. Scott Tinsley going for Simmons. He's got the ball at the 15, down to the 10, down to the 8. Jeff Simmons timed that leap perfectly and took the ball away from Mario Montgomery.
Now that time, Montgomery had pretty good coverage on Simmons. Now you see right here, the blitz is on. Number 45, Jimmy Williams, was blitzing on that play, but Montgomery was turned around, and Simmons, with the ball underthrown, just waited on it. Picked up the ball, and that puts SC in business. First and goal at the 8.
And this crowd, chanting moments ago, now somewhat silent. Now they start to crescendo again. 7 minutes to go in the game. Spencer is the tailback. McCool moving out. The pitch to Todd Spencer. Makes his cut at the 10. Spencer goes inside the 5, and a penalty marker is dropped as Spencer goes down to the 4. Let's see what this penalty is all about. Todd Spencer picking up 4. Watch the man in the white hat. Lee Cook says illegal motion. Trojans.
Jeffcoat made a real nice play on that, by the way. Coming up, taking a defender right out of the play and making the tackle.
So now that'll move the ball back 5 yards. It'll still be first down and still goal to go. But now the ball is back at the Arizona State 13 on the motion penalty against the Trojans.
Field goal doesn't help you too much with 6:55 left.
ASU 17, USC 10. Gordon Adams was the SC quarterback in 80 when he was hurt. Closing 2 games of the season when Tinsley came on to take over for him. And Gordon Adams is here in the stands tonight. First and goal at the 13. Scott Tinsley to throw into the end zone, throws it away. He got rid of that ball because Simmons was well covered by Montgomery. Now it'll set up a second and goal for the Trojans at the 13, and Scott Tinsley is looking over in the direction of Ted Tollner and John Robinson.
Now with the blitz coming on, you wonder why there haven't been more screen passes. Perhaps he'll pull it off right now. We have seen very few screens tonight.
Pat McCool wide to the left side. It could be that they would throw to McCool in this situation. Tailback is Spencer. Tinsley across the middle of Simmons. He's got the ball at the 5.
Great catch by Simmons. In traffic.
Cut down by Vernon Maxwell, Mario Montgomery, and Dave Galloway. Now it's third and goal at the Arizona State 5. 6:14 left. Simmons has caught 9 for 142 yards and a touchdown.
This is the biggest play of the game so far for SC.
Timeout SC.
They're calling timeout for it, yep.
Scott Tinsley will have a conference now with John Robinson, Ted Tollner right alongside.
Can I go now?
Tied at 10 at the half. ASU now 17-10, 6:06 left. Third and goal to go for the Trojans. And the ball is just outside of the 5-yard line.
Watch Simmons in the corner.
Simmons is going to be split off to the right side. Timmy Ware flanked out to the left. Spencer is the tailback. Lee the fullback. Scott Tinsley looking for Timmy Ware. Knocked away. Dwayne Galloway stepped in front of Ware and batted it away.
Not to take anything away from Dwayne Galloway, but that was not the finest pass ever thrown in college football. Here it is once again. Tinsley putting it up high. Galloway having time to recover. The ball was underthrown. But then again, Ware was not very open. One more time. Not a lot of pressure this time, ironically. They were not in a blitzing situation. Here's the ball thrown very high, giving that to defender time to react.
All right, three receivers to the left side. Mark Boyer, Timmy White, and Jeff Simmons. The lone running back is Jeff Bernay-Lee. 4th and goal. Tinsley throwing to Simmons. Over.
Now that time, Simmons was open, but the pass was so hurried because of the blitz. We move to later action with USC in the football.
Now the Trojans are back on their own 27. They're going to have to go 73 yards in 3 minutes and 46 seconds or less. Tinsley swings it out here over the head of Todd Spencer, the tailback.
I think that was the first screen I've seen in a long time anyway.
And I don't think it started out to be.
No, it didn't. No, there's no question. His receiver was covered, and it looked like, to be honest, Tinsley had a lot of indecision there. He hesitated quite a bit, and he overthrew that ball.
And the chant starts up. ASU, the Sun Devil fans, since the victory, they're only 3:41 away. Timmy White wide to the right side. Sun Devil 17, the Trojans 10. 2nd and 10 from the 27. Scott Tinsley to Simmons, and he's cut down at the 41. Mario Montgomery did it.
Jeff's now in double figures in the receiving department tonight. Great night for Jeff Simmons. Here it is once again. Good pass. There was no blitz this time. It was a rarity, too. And Simmons once again beating Montgomery.
Didn't Montgomery play that well? Simmons was trying to give him every fake he conceivably could. Montgomery just stayed his ground and did his thing. Here's Spencer up to the 43. 3:28 left. Brian Caldwell made the tackle on Todd Spencer.
Here's what makes it more difficult for SC to move the football. Obviously, ASU is a blitzing team. They know that USC has to throw the football with 3:15 left. So they're just going to be coming on like gangbusters in just a few seconds here.
Who would have thought that's the only scoring we have had in the second half, that 6-yard touchdown run by Alvin Moore midway through the third quarter. That's been all so far. 17-10 ASU, 3 minutes to go. Here comes Tinsley to throw across the middle to Simmons. Jeff Simmons, great catch down to the 40 of ASU. That's the 11th reception for Jeff Simmons tonight.
Watch this catch, too. Tremendous concentration, this part right here by Simmons. Going way up high. He gets hit and upended. He got up slowly, too, I might add, after that play, but he's okay right now. Jeff Simmons, great night for SC.
1st and 10 at the ASU 40. Spencer to the 31. A pickup of 9 by Todd Spencer down the middle.
It's nail-biting time now, folks. 2:33 and moving.
Mike Richardson made the tackle on Spencer. 2nd and 1 Trojans at the ASU 31. The Trojans aren't done yet. 2:20 left. Wide to the right comes Timmy Ware. Split left is Jeff Simmons. Trojans need 1 yard for a first down. Scott Tinsley. Tinsley can't even get rid of it. Paul Boyer. Paul Boyer, the strong safety. The clock is moving, too, on that play, too. Keeps the ball in play. 5 sacks tonight for ASU. 145 and counting. And that was a loss of 11. So rather than, it was 2nd and 1 here. The quarterback sacked by Boyer. Now it is 3rd and 12 at the 42. Tinsley throwing for Simmons. Knocked away. There's the flag. Mario Montgomery coming over the shoulder touchdown for the Trojans.
Oh, what is that? Hurts Arizona State.
1:24. That'll stop the clock.
Take a look at the ice left at half if you can. This is from the ground level end zone. Ball up in the air. Let's see where we can see the bumping. Right there, 34. Mario Montgomery on Jeff Simmons.
First and 10 for Southern California at the Arizona State 27. Tinsley. Down he goes.
Fumble.
At the 35.
That ball is in play. That ball is in play.
And Lee carries it to the 25. It was Jimmy Williams who put down Zephaniah Lee. And listen to the chorus of boos now.
And the clock is rolling with a minute left. Here it is again. You see Tinsley swarmed under. He'll fumble the football here, but the ball was still in play. He wasn't down. And Lee picks it up. And we're back to live action.
Tinsley throws it out of bounds to stop the clock, and that's legal this year. He was throwing to Spencer, but you used to be penalized 5 yards for throwing it out of bounds like that, but not so this year.
This one's going out of the wire, Mike. 51 seconds left.
And it's 3rd down and 8. The ball is at the 25 of ASU. That many seconds remaining. ASU 17 and Southern California 10.
Wild game.
Oh, listen to the chanting now. I don't know how they could hear Scott Tinsley's signals. Tinsley. Simmons fell down. Simmons fell down at the 16.
And he was open, too.
Now, 4th and 8, 46 seconds up.
There's no doubt you have to go for it now. But what do you call here? What kind of pass play? 4th down and 8. You know you're going to get blitzed. Here it is again. Tinsley, once again, had great pressure. 54. Vernon Maxwell putting pressure on him. But Simmons fell. I see how open he was, Jeff Simmons. He was wide open. He fell down.
Simmons has caught 11 tonight.
That may have been a touchdown, by the way, Mike, if Simmons doesn't fall down there, because the defender fell down as well.
John Robinson, Scott Tinsley, and Ted Kollner. Ted Kollner with a headset. Hudson Hawk with a baseball cap. Trojans have no timeouts. None left. 46 seconds. 17-10. The only scoring in this half, a 6-yard touchdown run by Alvin Moore midway through the 3rd quarter.
You never know. This could be the Rose Bowl for ASU, this play.
Huskies were knocked off by Stanford, and the Washington Huskies and the Sun Devils meet down here November the 13th in Tempe. In fact, after tonight, the Sun Devils have only 3 games left. Oregon State next Saturday night in Tempe. November the 13th, the Washington Huskies in Tempe. Then they have a week off, and they close it November the 27th down in Tucson against the Arizona Wildcats. And remember, ASU comes off probation at midnight, December the 31st. So they could be in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena New Year's Day. And ASU does not have to play UCLA. They don't meet this season. Listen to this roar from the crowd.
Let's.
Scott Tinsley. That's it.
It is fitting, isn't it, that ASU would win this football game, or what looks like winning the football game, on the blitz. Once again, Jimmy Williams, that time sacking Scott Tinsley. They have blitzed many, many times. I think close to 23 or 24 times tonight. That time, it cost USC the football game, most likely. 41 seconds left. ASU can run out the clock.
There's going to be some wild celebrating in the old town of Tempe tonight. And SC is about to go out of here 0-3 in this little former Indian community near Phoenix. And for one more year, they will write about the Tempe jinx for USC.
Speaking about the jinx, what about the second half jinx for USC offense? They just can't seem to score a touchdown in the second half.
The clock will run out. They're celebrating in Tempe. In the air here at Tempe tonight, but there's also the distinct aroma of roses in the air here at Tempe following the ASU Sun Devils 17-10 win over USC. For the Sun Devils, perfect record so far on 1982 of 8-0, 4-0 in the Pac-10. And the Devils now have won 10 straight games over a two-season span, 12 straight here in Tempe.
The key to this football game tonight obviously was the blitz. They sacked USC quarterbacks 8 times, sent Sean Salisbury out of the game. USC ended up with a total of 20 yards rushing. Of course, you have to take into account the fact that there was the quarterback sack, and that was the reason. Total offense for USC, 232 yards. For Arizona State, 250 yards. So it's very one-sided, though, in that rushing attack. There was virtually no rushing attack for USC tonight.
So the loss for USC stops SC's winning streak at 5. And now the question mark, what about Sean Salisbury for next week's game against California? That'll be unfolding in the week to come. For Roy Firestone, this is Mike Walden saying so long and good night from Tempe, Arizona, where the Sun Devils beat the Trojans 17-10.